Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. You're listening to episode number 235. I'm hypnotist Jim Kellner. I'm joining again one of my favorite hypnotists in the world, Victoria Gallagher. She's the Law of Attraction hypnotist. She's the number one best-selling author of The Practical Law of Attraction. Align yourself with the manifesting conditions and successfully attract your desires. She's also the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps, which gives you access to over 500 hypnosis recordings right in the palm of your hand. So be sure to download that app from any of the app stores out there. Everyone, please welcome, put your hands together. Literally, put your hands together for Victoria Gallagher, everyone. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I hear you guys clapping. Thank you.
Yeah, the cheering. Okay. Stop clapping now. Stop clapping. We've got to talk.
Yes, we got to talk. Got to stop clapping so you can hear. You can hear. Oh, I'm getting into the pink zone there on my focus, right? So, hey, it's good to see you. It's good to see this audience. I don't really see you. I imagine you're there. I imagine all the people out there who are listening, all 40,000 of you.
Yeah, I love, I got to tell you. So when people comment, when we post this and they'll comment, I love the episode or something, which, boy, the last couple episodes, especially, it seems like we've had a lot of comments, or I've just noticed a lot, great episode. And sometimes I click through and I'm like, oh, okay, that's the person that's listening. So I'm imagining you right now, whoever you are, sitting there listening.
Yes. I mean, because that's what this is all about. This is a conversation for the people that want to know about this, power of your mind, and you're listening right now. And by the way, like how you just introduced, about the HypnoCloud app, we're recording this episode number 235, and that's a lot of episodes.
A lot.
That is a lot of episodes. It's like I've done this like 235 times, if not more, actually.
Yeah.
Because there have been the times there actually have been episodes that I had one, believe it or not, one episode where I had a guest on my show and I never hit record. So we did the whole show and I never hit record. I had to actually have him come back and redo the whole thing with me. It's like, oh my God. And it was like one of those like magical, like, oh my God, this is so great.
Yeah.
When you're just like on. But what I was going to say is like that new app that I keep talking about, by now, it might actually be launched. Like
Wow.
it's technically supposed to be out by the date that this episode airs. I have a feeling that, it may be a little longer than that. And, but it'll be just getting better and better. It's just
Right.
getting better and better
Okay.
every week. Every week there's improvement and it's just getting better and better. And so, stay tuned for us to talk about that. We probably won't actually be talking about that until like March or something, though. The episodes that are going to air in March, because when it actually does
Right.
launch, we're always a couple months ahead of the game here, just behind the
Yeah.
scenes stuff here.
But I mean, there's some exciting stuff with this new one. I know you talked about, that it's going to have the, your normal, like you have, like you have even more hypnosis recordings, but also your courses.
Yeah.
You said some scripts on there. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. There's going to be some of the courses, like not all the courses. I'm still going to keep some of the courses where you have to, invest in those separately. But
Hmm.
there's going to be like my self-hypnosis course. I'm thinking about putting my 21-day manifesting challenge in there. Definitely going to be the visualization course, a gratitude course, a meditation course. So there's going to be all kinds of courses that I normally charge, like, between $47, let's call it $47 for. Those courses are going to be unlocked for subscribers of the app. There'll be
Yeah.
like some, free, a lot of free content. And there's a lot of surprises, some things I want to kind of like keep, keep until the launch date, but definitely it's just going to be amazing. And we're also going to offer, really super duper special deals for people to come over to the new app because we were originally intending on updating the old app. We can no longer do that. So it's actually going to be a brand new app.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So since you've been doing this for a long time, you must hear lots of myths. Like we hear lots of myths about hypnosis. There's got right, yeah, yeah. There's got to be a lot of myths about manifesting.
Oh my
Could you
God.
share some of those with us?
Yeah, and
Wow,
you're right because
get
like
ready.
when I was only practicing hypnosis, like people would always ask about hypnosis stuff. You get the can you make me cluck like a chicken, or you're gonna
Right.
the hypnotist has control over you, you have no free will, you're gonna you might not be able to wake up from hypnosis, or all these kind of silly thoughts, and that's kind of the same thing happens when it comes to manifesting. People get all these crazy ideas about manifesting because maybe they've seen certain movies and maybe they've misinterpreted that, or maybe other people have misinterpreted that. There's just so much misinformation out there. And that's why I love to talk about this, because the fact of the matter is manifestation is so powerful. But it's not always working exactly the way people have it made out to be. And like one of the myths that people have is, that you have to give up all negative thinking. And,
Mm,
that is absolutely not true. I mean, because here's the thing about giving up all negative thinking, you can't. And so how fair would that be? Like
right.
that would basically be saying like there's this great thing out there called manifestation, but the only way you're ever going to manifest anything is if you think positive 100% of the time. And so
Wow.
essentially they would be right that like, oh, I haven't manifested anything yet because I've still got my negative thoughts, and so people just give up on that whole idea because it would just be pointless. So it's just not possible. It's only setting you up to fail. It's unrealistic to think that you could actually do that. It's not true. What is important is how you deal with those negative thoughts when they come up. Obviously, you're not going to manifest much if you're constantly thinking negative and everything you see is negative. If you're just constantly focusing on that, then yeah, you're going to manifest more of the negative stuff, because the negative thoughts tend to put you into a negative vibration. The negative vibration is going to cause you to like either stay in inaction, stay stuck, feel resentful, feel frustrated, disappointment, and all of that's just going to create absolutely more of the same. So you do have to be aware of your thinking. You do have to notice when you're having a negative thought, and you have to take that negative thought and acknowledge it and let it go. Because eventually you will begin to change the way you think. If you you're like you're never going to 100%. I've been doing this, I've been teaching, I mean, I've been studying metaphysical, spiritual, personal growth practices for 35 years. I just filled out an
Wow.
application today for this thing that I'm doing, and I had to actually count the amount of years that I've been studying this stuff. I've been studying this stuff pretty religiously. It's been just a huge part of my life for 35 years. Do I have negative thoughts? Every freaking day of my life. I mean, there's probably not an hour that goes by that I don't have a negative thought. And
Yeah.
so when you have the negative thought, it just gives you a choice. When you have the awareness about that negative thought is when it gives you a choice, and you simply acknowledge what it is that you're, thinking in that moment, and say, well, how do I want to, is this what I want to manifest? Like, because if you continue it's kind of like you're gonna eventually, like if you're on a diet and but you just cannot stop thinking about chocolate cake. And you say to
Mhm.
yourself, like, oh my God, I just can't stop thinking about this chocolate cake. And I'm
Okay.
eventually,
Chocolate.
I'm at the end of I'm gonna I'm gonna end up eating this chocolate cake. I can't stop thinking about it. Well, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up eating chocolate cake. And so it's not necessarily even that that's a negative thought. It's maybe negative if what your, goal is to, lose that weight. But, so what do you do when you get that thought, about the chocolate cake? Well, you have to like let that thought go and you have to ask yourself, well, what do I want instead? And, you might just give yourself an affirmation, something like, looking great or feeling great, is so much better than, any food ever tastes or something along that line. And so you just stop yourself and you think about something new, but it just kind of it's really just letting you know what you're thinking about, because thoughts are going to come in. You don't have to think them just because they're there. And so that's just the first myth that people have, is just that it's all about, rainbows and unicorns and puppy dogs and kitty cats and thinking positive all the time. It's not. You're going to have the negative thoughts. It's nothing to even forgive yourself for. It's just that's just who it's just human. It's just human,
Mhm.
and you're gonna have some negative thoughts. Just how you deal with them is just simply like, you don't go down that road. You just choose another road.
Yeah, yeah. So dwelling, you move on.
Yeah.
I know, and I've talked about before, I believe, on the show, a couple people in particular I can think of right off the top of my head that thought the manifesting should be this easy process, and then they got frustrated when it wasn't. I meditate every day on that thing I want, and I still don't have it, and different things like that. So, is manifestation an easy process?
Yes and no. Yes and no, because it starts off, I think it just depends on where you're at. Like it depends on how close you are. It's kind of like one of those things where, when somebody wants to, let's just even use losing weight again. Like when somebody like wants to lose weight, well, like, do you want to lose 10 pounds? Do you want to lose 100 pounds? How far away are you from your weight goal? Have you like,
Hmm.
how difficult is it for you to conceive of yourself being that? Are you going to do the work? And when are you going to reduce the food that you need to reduce? Are you going to reduce the negative thoughts? Or, are you going to, um, so it's kind of like really synonymous with that. Like think about where you're at right now. How far away from your manifestation and are you? And so it can be easier for some people to just hop on the manifestation train. Like all they got to do is tweak one little thing, because they're just sort of like more inclined to think positive more often. They just have a healthier belief system. They don't have as many limiting beliefs holding them back. They're already kind of like, I pretty much feel like I can get that. It's just a matter of like, maybe I just need to develop, a little bit more focus and energy and attention on that, take a little bit more action, and boom, it's mine. Other people are not quite in that situation. They may just totally have a negative bias already. They have a ton of limiting beliefs. Maybe something really bad happened in their childhood. Maybe they just have so much resistance, so much frustration, so much doubt. They have a certain way of being that's just really set. It also could have to do, I mean, like if are you getting started on this when you're 70 and you've been thinking like, super, super negative for your whole life? Or are you 18 and maybe you've been a witness to people who've manifested things. You've already been exposed to the material. So It can be easy depending on where you start. But if you have a lot of negative self-doubt, a lot of negative thoughts, then it's gonna take you a little longer to turn those around. And it's just one of those things that it just takes practice, and it depends on like where you are at and what it is that you need to practice with. Because there's also so many things. It's like, do you need to practice with turning your thoughts around? You need to practice with turning your vibe around. You need to practice with removing some of the blocks, the limiting beliefs, and things like that, the resistance, resentment. Like I know for me, like I have this pattern, this negative pattern that about developers and people like just constantly letting me down, and that is just something like that has just been a doozy for me. Like I can manifest all the other things, all right, but that is so you might really have an easier time manifesting in certain areas of your life, better, easier than in other areas of your life. So you like, why? Well, my very first website that I ever built, it kind of like, it was one of those things that just kind of got messed up. And so did I have a little resentment about that I still haven't let go of? Have I forgive those initial first developers, all of that. So anyway, it's just like, it's not a cut and dry answer about, whether it's easy or not. It's just different for everyone, depending on where
I
you're at.
see. Yeah, and I think, and you kind of talked about it. It's almost like can be like a habit for some people, just a bad habit, the negative thinking, I think. And sometimes it feels good. You're in a bad mood and you don't want to feel better. And you really take some effort to get yourself out of that bad mood or that negative mood.
And that's okay. You absolutely, you can have like, you can set aside a time a day, or set a timer for the amount of time that you're going to let yourself just go ahead and be in your bad mood. Seriously, it's like,
Yeah,
you know what? I'm
don't
in a
bother
funk
me.
right now, right?
4 p.m. to 5
Because what you
to
resist
4:05.
yeah, so that's another
Right,
thing
true.
too. Like what you resist persists. So if you're in a bad mood and you're just trying to say, "Oh, like, just think positive, just think positive, I'm just gonna
Hmm.
turn this around, just gonna turn this smile upside down or this frown upside down."
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not like that. It's not about being fake. It's not, there's nothing like about that. Like if you're really like in a bad mood and there's no way that you can turn that around, then you need to like embrace it. You just need to be with it. You need to just accept it, be present with it. And here's the thing about being present with your bad mood. If you're actually present with it, if you actually let it out, if you actually let yourself feel, if you actually like cry or do whatever it is that you're going to need to do, the fact of the matter is you're only going to stay there. People are actually afraid of their negative feelings. Um, they're not actually really experiencing their negative feelings. They're projecting negativity because they're trying to get away from something that they're afraid to feel. So they need to actually feel the feeling. And the truth of the matter is, when you allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling, you're only going to be able to feel it for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to be through it. And then you're going to feel so much better.
Mm, that's good. Good. What else? What other kind of myths do people hit you with
I
that you
think
hear?
yeah, another one is that like all you have to do is just want something bad enough. It's just like that all you have to do is just want it bad enough, and it's just going to manifest all by itself. You just think about it. You just sit there and you just think. I want this so badly. I want this so badly.
If that
And
were,
huh?
as I say, if that were true, wouldn't every little kid get everything they wanted for Christmas? Because kids want hardcore,
Right, exactly. Well,
right?
and it's this myth, this is the myth that perpetuates the doomsayers, or the people out there that say, "Oh, this is crap, this is a load of crap." That's the myth. That's the myth that that's what law of attraction means. Because I think we all kind of realize that y- you know, most people, I think you realize that you can't just wish for something, wish upon a star, and just all your dreams are going to come true. And
Yeah.
the thing is that The universe doesn't actually have any preference for what you want. Like it's not out there to try to say like, oh, because you want this so badly that we're going to give this to you. It's not responding to your wants. It's not responding to your desires. It's not responding to necessarily even what you say. It's responding to how you feel and your state of being and your energy and your frequency and your vibration, not how much desire you have, not how badly you want something. Because truth be told, the more you sometimes the harder you want something, the more desperate you actually feel, the more frustrated you actually feel, the more doubt you actually feel. But if you can really be in touch with how are you actually feeling, like when you want something, and at the same time you're raising your vibration and becoming a match for that with your thoughts, your vibration, your belief system, your actions obviously that you're taking, when you're all in alignment with what you want across the board, that's what the universe is going to respond to that and guide you and show you the way. And that's the other part of this too, is it's like, the universe isn't just going to like plop the, car into your parking lot from the sky, like boom, poof, like we're just going to give you a car. No, I mean, you have to go to the car dealership to buy it and
Right.
to test drive it, to think about it, to like kind of figure out the financing on it. And it's like this is all like based in a physical world. You have to do the thing as a physical expression of who you are to actually carry this out. It's just that the way the universe guides you is sometimes you can't actually see how you're going to manifest that thing. And so when you are all in alignment with all of the things, the beliefs, the feelings, the thoughts, the actions, and you're asking to be guided and asking to be shown, you're going to be shown, go here, do that, call that person, click here, whatever it is, listen to the Power of Your Mind podcast. Victoria's going to give you some tips, whatever it
Right.
is, you're going to be shown your next step. And if you're all in a line and in tune with that, then you're going to be well on your way.
Great. I just want to just let everybody know that if you're watching right now, if you see me start to yawn, I got up at 5 a.m. this morning. So I'm just tired.
I got up at
It keeps
5.
sneaking in. Did you?
Yeah, I get up
Oh,
at 5 every day now.
oh God. Wow.
But maybe you
Oh, no
stayed up later
excuses.
than me. Maybe you stayed up later
Maybe.
than me. You
Well, if you're
probably.
getting up at 5, I can't. What time do you go to bed if you're getting up at 5?
It's shifted from like I used to stay up till probably just before midnight, and then it
Mhm.
became like like 10:30 is typically like my bedtime. But I've been like kind of getting to the point where we're sitting on the couch and just watching, we finally get to sit down about 8:30, 9 o'clock, maybe, from washing up from dinner, and then like we get into a show, and like by 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock, I am just starting to fall asleep. And
Mm.
so that I would say and then usually I'm gonna have to go upstairs and like do the whole routine. My routine takes
Mm.
me a good at least 10-15 minutes, between
Mm.
all the flossing and the brushing and the taking off the makeup and the blah, blah, blah. I try
Gotcha.
to tell myself I'm
Gotcha.
going to do that like right after dinner so I can actually sit down on the couch to relax and
Mhm.
not have to wake myself back up again, because then I'll wake
Right.
myself back up again from doing all that. And then I'll lay down and read my iPad for a little bit. And then again, the reading probably 5 minutes and I'm like conked out.
So, so what other kind of myths do people come up with?
So another thing that people think about what's the number one thing people think about when they think about manifesting, law of attraction? They
I
think
want to get
about
rich.
they think about getting rich. They think about
Well,
being
money.
abundant. They think about money, 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 money.
And abundance means money, right?
Right. They think about, the dream car. They think about the dream home and, and all those things. And there's nothing wrong in the world with those things. I love those things. I love money. But it's not all about just material wealth and material things.
Mm,
You get to decide whatever it means to you. And I think, ultimately, here's the thing: when you make your manifestation all about just the wealthy things and the rich things and all of that, you're kind of missing the point.
mm,
Because you think if you're wanting to just manifest the wealth and the rich things, there's a reason for that. And the reason is because you think that those things are the key to your happiness and satisfaction in life.
mm,
And
right.
they're absolutely not, because
Mm,
I mean, now when I manifested my dream home, did it make me happy? Absolutely, absolutely. But it's like, now it's been 2 years that we're still living here, and I still love this place. I still walk through here, and I still like go, "Oh, this is great." But it's a practice of, like, respecting the things that I have, and appreciating the things that I have. But again, and getting back to it, it's not even about that at all, because it's about, like, whatever abundance means to you. Manifesting,
mm,
I think one of the most important things that we have, is like the thing, is our health. I mean,
mm.
without your health, you can't enjoy the life that you're, trying to manifest. And I think so many people take their health for granted. I mean, if you ever end up in the hospital one day, or end up with a, negative result from an exam or something like that, all of a sudden, you feel like, your health, you all of a sudden you realize how important your health is. And so it's, the key is to focus on what it is that you want to create. You get to decide what abundance means to you. Maybe or maybe manifesting is just, to me, it's about the feeling. Ultimately,
Mm.
manifesting is about the feeling that you want. And the feelings are already there. Like, so everything that you really want to manifest, if you really think about it, it's already there. You have the ability to feel however you want. Just visualize yourself,
Sure. Yeah.
in doing whatever it is, and imagining the feeling as real. And you're imagining the thing is real, feel it as if it's real, and you will feel it. You will begin to feel gratitude. You will begin to feel abundance. You will begin to feel healthy. You will begin to feel wealthy. You will begin to feel loved and lovable, and all of the things that you want, and accomplished, confident, motivated, whatever it is. And so, to me, I feel like manifesting is really about improving our state of mind, our state of being, our state of feeling. And then, because we have improved our state of mind and feeling and being, we now are a match to draw into our lives the things that we've been thinking about that are, seemingly separate from us. And so it's just about feeling and living out the energy of our goals.
Yeah, and I like that because I think too often we think that that like being successful just means lots of money, and that doesn't. You can be successful and not rich, and you can be rich and not feel successful. Certainly.
Yeah, I was listening, just I want to just kind of like update myself on like, exactly all the things that Mother Teresa did. And like, I mean, she was super successful. I mean, she had no money. But she
Right.
had the ability to gather resources and gather people
Mhm.
and attract resources and people to her, because her heart and her intention were pure. I mean, she just
Mhm.
wanted to give people peace and mind and healing and health and help people. Like that was her pure intention, was just to help people. And I think you know changing your perspective on like what does success really mean to you, it could really go a long way. And again, I mean, I love money. I think that money is great, but it um is not more important than helping people. And I think that that's what this is really all about, when, is like what kind of impact are you going to leave on the people around you? Are you going to leave people in a better place, or are you going to leave, people in a in a worse off place? And there are a lot of people out there that that's their intention, is to leave people in a worse off place. That's unfortunate.
Right.
But we're,
Exactly.
we're not here to that. They're not part of our, they wouldn't be attracted to listen to the Power of Your Mind podcast.
Probably. Right. You
So
know
I think
what's
that people here, if you change your perspective to like, how can I help? Why am I here? Um, I'm an open channel. I'm willing to be led. I just think there's so much more abundance on the other side of that, that we could, just be focused on, how can I be of service and have help to people? You're going to get rewarded as a result of that. And don't make that the reason why you do that, but just trust and know and have faith that you're going to be taken care of. Same way Mother Teresa was taken care of, you know, um, you're going to be taken care of.
something interesting about wealth and getting rich. I try to memorize like a part of my to-do list is like some gratitude, and also I try to do a quote, something I'm working on my life at that time that I want to memorize. So I was just looking up quotes on wealth, generating wealth, and I type in quotes about money, and I got to say 99% of quotes about money are how you don't need money to be happy, or all these things. There's this. It's almost like money is like not necessarily always evil in these things, but it's like shouldn't focus on money and all this stuff. And I don't necessarily think money is a bad thing. It's a tool, just like anything else. And I know this guy's kind of a controversial figure, but Dan Pena in one of his videos said on TikTok, he's like, "You want to save the whales? You'll save a lot more whales if you got money to save the whales."
Well, and that's true too. It's like, yeah, it's just a tool, it's just a resource, but it shouldn't be the main highlight of your life. Because,
Yeah.
it's like, what are you going to do? Like sit in a bathtub full of money all day?
Mm.
And, so it's like,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's like, what can that money, what is the goal that you wish that money, to do for you? And you
Right.
gotta like sometimes really think deeply on that, because if you say, well, if I had more money, I'd feel more, secure, or I'd feel more comfortable, or I'd feel whatever, I'd have more access to better health. I mean, all of those things, but that's what you want. And so think in terms of like, well, what can I do to feel that way? And then whatever resource you need, whether it is money, whether it is people, whether it is a nice home that just comes up for you, whether it is whatever it is, it's what doesn't why does it matter which way you meet that goal? Like like money, I think, is, in a way, it's like it's a way to try to control it, or it's your way of figuring out the how. But it's like, there's many ways that you can manifest ultimately, what you're going for.
Mm.
And so it's not just all about wealth and riches, and although it's nice, it's nice.
Yeah,
And but it's not the main thing, and it's not the only thing.
makes sense. So what are some other the big myths that pop out as you think about them, about
You know, I
manifesting?
think I think people also kind of just kind of get caught up in, it's just all about writing your affirmations 100 times a day. And all you have to do is
Mm,
just, write affirmations, and, look at your affirmations, write your affirmations, say your affirmations. And, affirmations are a technique, and affirmations are one of the many amazing techniques that there are. But again, they're just one of the tools, and the tool is literally just to change your focus and your feelings. That's what they're there. The affirmation in and of itself is not going to bring it to you. It's not even necessarily going to change your belief system. I mean, unless you say it like a million times, because, you got to change all that through your feelings, through, deeply embedded, suggestions in a state of theta, through highly altered emotional experiences, through habits, through taking certain actions. But just saying your affirmations isn't going to be enough. It's not powerful enough all by itself. Now, if you go out and you say your affirmations like an hour a day, and you get yourself into such a high vibe, and you go out in nature, and you feel them, you visualize them, you spend like a good solid hour in that kind of state, maybe that's all you need at that moment. But it's still only going to change your belief. Just because you believe something doesn't isn't gonna manifest it for you. Believing isn't going to just, like, you still have to take some actions. You still, and sometimes you don't know what those actions are yet, that are going to lead you to whatever it is that you want to manifest. So they're good for changing your state. They're good for helping you to, like, get into a better mood when you're feeling down. Because ultimately, it's up to you to take the actions. It's up to you to listen to the guidance. It's up to you to, change your ongoing, continuous habits and thoughts and things like that. Um, but they're, again, like, it's just one of the many, 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 many amazing tools that there is to do that.
what about those people that think they can just go around with just thinking positive all the time, and it's gonna, it's that's gonna do it for them? Is that enough?
I don't think it's enough to just think positive. I
I mean, you
think
kind
it's
of talked about it.
helpful.
I think you talked about. Oh, I'm sorry. I think we talked about this on the previous episode, but I was wondering for folks on this one too. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's
No,
helpful.
I mean, thinking positive is helpful. It's certainly going to be more beneficial than thinking negative. But, there are ultimately, um, it's a great place to start. Ultimately, it's probably like the first obvious thing, that you need to do to get yourself one step closer to manifesting. But like we had talked about in a previous episode, as far as like negative thinking, so like impossible, or maybe it's this episode. Everything's
I know.
kind of
They're kind of
blending
they're kind
together
of.
today.
I know.
Uh,
I wasn't. I think we talked about it last episode, but maybe this one or maybe both. I don't know. But we can never talk
yeah.
too much about positive
You
thinking.
can never talk too much about it. But obviously, okay, so you realize that you're not going to be able to think positive 100% of the time. And but that is an amazing shift that you can make in your life, is to start to think positive. But in no way do I suggest that thinking positive is the only thing that you need to do. You need to take some action steps. You need to have faith in your desires coming to, fruition. You can't just think about getting that job. Let's say, you're unemployed right now and you need a job. You can't just sit there and think about yourself landing in, a new job. It's like the phone's not going to ring. You're not going to get an invitation to just start working one day because you think positively. There's things that you need to do. And, and maybe you don't exactly, maybe you feel like you're just tapped out. Maybe you have been taking all kinds of action steps, toward that. Maybe you've gone on 20 interviews or 25 interviews or 50 interviews and you've just been shot down. Well, the more you think positive, maybe you'll actually start to get new ideas and get out of the realm of what you already know. Because if you've tried a lot of things, maybe there's just something that you don't know yet. And so maybe it's time to, rather than thinking positive all the time, maybe it's time to actually sit with yourself and tune inward and allow the, spirit to come in and guide you. Maybe this is just the time for you to take a whole different direction in your life. Maybe it's time for you to start that business. Maybe it's time, you know, uh, maybe you don't actually need the job and you're ready to retire. I don't know. It's like just people can just be in all different areas of their life when it comes to this. But the key is that no, it's not all about positive thinking. There's, just so much more to it. Positive thinking will get you on the right path though.
Excellent. And that's what I love about your work, Victoria. It's the practical law of action. It's not just the meditate and write some affirmations and the universe just opens up and gives you everything you want. So get the book. It's practical law of attraction. It's not the woo-woo law of attraction. That's coming next though. But you have to start with the
Absolutely.
practical.
You do. I think that it's time. And I've been kind of thinking about this for a while. And the thing is I just yeah, I'm just such a multitasker. I always have so many things that so many different ways that I want to support people. And, obviously I've been in the middle of wanting to get this app into everybody's palms of their hands. That's been big for me. I'm in the process of creating some new courses. And then also I would like to write another book that takes this even deeper because I think people are ready for it and I'm ready for it. And so, yeah, there's the practical law of attraction, and then there's just going to be something a little bit more advanced than that. And, not to, I mean, so many people have actually reached out to me and told me how their lives have changed as a result of reading Practical Law of Attraction. Came across that video the other day. I think I showed you on Facebook, and
Mhm.
that somebody was just like had been. I think she wrote about this. Like she made this video about like 2 years ago. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Wow.
It's kind of cool, like when I come across like little things like that where like somebody was talking about me and I didn't even know about it.
Yeah,
And
that's cool.
I mean, yeah, that happens to Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey and all these people all
Yeah.
the time. People are talking about them, they don't know about it,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a
So
weird
anyway.
thing when you think about it. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting.
So anyway, yeah, there's definitely another book coming in my future. I haven't started writing it yet, but I'm it's just I'm living, you know, through whatever it is that, is going to allow me to tap into what I need to tap into to write that book.
Wonderful. Victoria, thank you so much for having me on again. And I learned so much every time. I know everybody does. Thank you so much for doing this for everyone.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for being a great co-host and asking great questions and, being curious being also just being a student, like, because I love to teach. And so and you always, obviously, you teach me, by, sharing your insights as well. And so, I just really appreciate you, and appreciate the audience for being here and listening, and, keeping, you know, just continuing to download, continuing to share this, leaving comments. So please be sure to leave a comment on the podcast wherever you're watching it, whether it's video, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on the audio, wherever you're listening. Just please do leave a comment and rate at that, because it's through those types of ways that you're actually going to help us to get our message out to more and more people. And, this is free content that everyone can use and be inspired by. So help us out. Help us help you. And wherever you are listening, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you found value in today's program, share it with your friends, leave a review. Starting last month in November, you have a chance to win a custom hypnosis session by leaving a review, sending me a screenshot of your review, and I'm going to pick a lucky winner to receive a free custom hypnosis. This is, go to hiptalk.com. I charge normally, actually, like I was saying, last session I said it was 500. It's actually 400. It's 500 for the hypnosis plus. That's where we actually get to sit down and do a Zoom call together. But for this, it's a $400 value. And I also have a free gift for you. It's called Manifest Wealth Meditation. So simply go to victoriamgallagher.com/free-gift and download it there. And finally, if you have any other topics that you'd like to talk about, me to talk about, Jim and I to talk about, just email me at victoriamgallagher.com. Oh, the website's getting a massive makeover right now. So by now you're probably seeing it. Anyway, love to know what you want to know about. And again, as always, download my app. I don't know if it's HypnoCloud. I don't know if it's a new one, but go and do the right thing. Support this podcast, and support yourself by getting all this amazing content into your mind. And be sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the Power of Your Mind podcast. Thank you guys. Happy manifesting.